I do, buckaroos, and how the heck are you? I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer today. So I purchased classic Jack Daniels, old number 7. There's a reason for it because there's always a reason for everything I do. I struggle buying this product. Not that I think it's a bad product, but it runs. I found it on sale today for right about 22 a bottle. It typically runs about 26, 27. And when I can get the Jim Beam Double Age, which is an 86 proof, for about 19, 20 bucks, I really hate spending that much for this, which is only an 80 proof now. If it was still a 90 proof, I'd buy it gladly, but I don't like that it's an 80 proof. But anyway, having said all of that, we'd recently moved. We'd moved several times over a period, and then ended up back at our house. And anyway, to make a long story short, stuff ended up in boxes as we were going through some boxes recently. I found some. These were from my dad, actually, that my mom had given me when my dad had passed away. There's a Jack Daniel's shot glass. There's nothing like Jack Daniel's Old Number 7. Jack was probably Dad's favorite whiskey, although he drank more of Jim Beam and he liked Wild Turkey upon occasion too. But he liked this again when it was a 90 proof. I don't know that he would care for this 80 proof, to be honest with you. And I found these glasses, his Old Number 7. There's a set of 4 of these Jack Daniel's Gold Medal Old Number 7 glasses. And I only found one of these here. It was a little different. Decided to have some rocks. Jack Daniel's established 1866 Old Number 7 whiskey. So there you go. There it is. There it is. So I'm going to do the rocks first because, well, I've had this sitting on ice for a little longer than I would like. So anyway, here at the Jack Daniel Distillery, we're proud to honor the independence and integrity of the man. The independence, and it's good Lord, I'm not read that. The independence and it wasn't making sense, but I wasn't reading it right. Independence and integrity of the man who established our distillery at the Cave Spring Hollow. True to Mr. Jack's whiskey making tradition, we still mellow our whiskey drop by drop and stand by Jack's charge. And over here it says, mellowed for smoothness, drop by drop through sugar maple charcoal, matured for character in our own handcrafted barrel. Not everybody's making their own. Tasted for flavor by masters until deemed ready. Okay, there we go. That's enough of that. Let's get the label out there so you can see it again. And there we go. Back to the whiskey. I don't have any Coke. I don't typically highball, but this whiskey probably it really is meant to highball. I don't have any Coke though. I was gonna pick one up, but I forgot. I usually have Coke handy, but I've really been trying to cut down. Like the old Red Fox joke, he talked about being married several times and he was married again. Uh, but his wife caught him cheating. He said, she caught me with a midget from Circus Circus. I tried to explain to her that I was cutting down. Yeah. Anyways, Red Fox, the man was a genius. Let's have some whiskey. I like putting the right whiskey in the right glass. And since I found these glasses, I thought I'd honor my pop. Timing is everything. I mean, it would have been about a month ago. It would have been 20 years since my dad passed away. So that would have been a great day had I had the glasses at the time. Anyway, but I was thinking about it when my wife brought that box of glasses and I washed them all up today, so I could and I had to go to the store and get some regular Jack Daniels. I would like to say like Pop used to drink, but it isn't the same. The recipe may be the same. But when Dad was buying, I think it was about up to about the mid 80s, maybe 86. I can't remember the exact year. It went to an 86 proof. And I can't remember when it dropped to 80, but I wish it'd go back to being at least an 86 proof. I think it loses something. But this isn't bad. This probably isn't a whiskey that you would think to people either drink it or people either shoot it or put it in a cocktail or a highball. And what I'm doing here is I'm drinking neat and rocks, which typically isn't an application for this whiskey. But honestly, for the money, it isn't bad. Again, for $22. But again, the problem is for my taste buds, I kind of like that Jack extra age. But there is something distinctive about Jack Daniels, and that's something that nobody can argue. Jack Daniels has a very distinctive flavor. No other whiskey is Jack Daniels, and that's just a fact. And I hate to keep repeating myself, but I just wish it was back to a 90 proof, or at the very least an 86. I really did like that Red Dog Saloon, but that was, again, that's the 86. Not hard to drink. I'm getting a little sweetness, feeling some oak in the back end, but it does lose a lot right away. I probably got a little more water in an 80 proof than I really wanted, to be honest with you. But, for $22 bottle of whiskey, it certainly wasn't harsh or hard to drink. So let me concentrate on the neat. Let me drink this neat. Using this particular glass, I use that one for the rocks, use this one for the neat. Use my Jack Daniel's shot glass even to measure it all out. So yeah, I put exactly an ounce in both. As a younger drinker, to be honest with you, probably up until maybe 5 years ago, to be honest with you, I never measured anything. But I find I need to measure them. It helps me pace myself when I measure the whiskey. Yeah, I never used to measure. I just poured. Most of my cocktails were about 6 shots of whiskey and just a splash of whatever else I was putting in there. Oddly enough, I mean, I know weight wise, I weigh a lot more than I did back then. So technically, I probably have less alcohol in my system now, but it does hit me harder now than it used to. I had a greater tolerance back then. As a younger man, I mean, even though I only weighed about 100 and a quarter, I had such a tolerance that I could outdrink most some folks twice my size. It had been done. A little honey-like sweetness in there. Yeah, I haven't revisited this in a while, uh, and honestly, it's good. I gotta admit that I like it. It kind of surprised me. I just find it a little watery. That's what kind of bothers me. Again, at the risk of continuing to repeat myself, I just wish it was the minimum of 86. Boy, I'd love to see it go back to what it used to be. And I know they did that for cost-cutting measures to keep the price down. And it has always been a certain amount of money above a Jim Beam. And when it was 90 proof, it was understandable. But now you're talking about 280 proof whiskeys. I don't know that it's justified in my opinion. But then again, I have to go back to the distinctiveness that is Jack Daniels. It is a very distinct whiskey, whether you love it or not. You can't deny that fact that there's nothing out there that is Jack Daniels. Hmm. I wanted to do a Jim Beam and Coke because that's the classic cocktail. It is. But I have another cola in there that I may try to do a video to add to this because I really want to do a highball with this. I did mention that this typically isn't a whiskey that you think of drinking neat. Uh, but again, I mean, I'm not having a hard time drinking it neat. I'm not getting quite as much on the nose as I like, but I mean, there's nothing unpleasant about the nose either. Certainly getting some oak, some vanilla, some caramel-like notes. The flavors are actually nice, I must admit. Sometimes you just have to admit when you're wrong, Tom, and I'm going to admit when I'm wrong. Something a lot of beer and whiskey I don't call myself a reviewer, but other reviewers never admit when they're wrong. I'm finding it more complex than I remember, to be honest with you. But again, I am getting, it's just feeling just a touch watery, but would make me wish, because I really love that Red Dog Saloon because it was at 86. It was at 86. This at 80, I does feel a little watery. However, having said that, I'm getting some nice caramel, some vanilla. I'm getting very light but pleasant oak, just a hint of smoke, and a nice amount of cinnamon to balance it out in the finish. So to be honest with you, I have to admit that yeah, do I think it's worth the $22? Yeah, if that's where your tastes are. There are other $20 to $25 whiskeys out there. Again, it just depends on where your tastes are. But do I think it's worth the money? I'm going to say yes. And I'll give you my spiel just in case I don't come back with the highball. I am John, a whiskey whisperer, whiskey evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all around good guy. But I may add to this video with Jack Daniels and Cola highball.